So the Metroid franchise on Nintendo Switch just got big news, and we need to discuss it because as someone who has grown up as a lifelong Metroid fan, it is a franchise that I've seen Nintendo put some focus into and also skip entire console generations when the series doesn't perform near as well as the other household names that you know and love like Mario, Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Super Smash Bros, amongst many others. And while still to this day, Metroid has never hit the kind of sales figures that we've seen those other franchises hit, we are not in a scenario on the Nintendo Switch where we are not seeing Metroid love, care, and support, as if you look around to the N64 era and even most recently the Wii U era, we had no brand new Metroid games developed on those systems at all. Whereas if you look around where we are at within the Nintendo Switch lifecycle and the Metroid franchise, not only do we have every mainline Metroid 1 through 5 playable on the console right now, granted we're still missing some of the best versions like Zero Missions being the best version of the original Metroid, and Metroid 2 Samus Returns having a remake locked to the 3DS, you can still play through that entire story arc of 1 through 5 on the Switch, which is great news. We most recently saw Metroid Prime Remastered make its way over to the Switch at the February 2023 Nintendo Direct, and that game is sold really solid. Surprisingly, Nintendo launched it at a $40 price point, and we now have heavy rumor mill speculation talk suggesting that Prime 2 is next in the holster, and there's no reason to think that Prime 3 won't follow behind that, leading into Prime 4's ultimate release. And while we don't know if Prime 4 is a current gen Switch game or a next gen Switch game, you could theorize that in a world if Nintendo doesn't mess up backwards compatibility for their next gen console, that the current Switch and even the next gen Nintendo Switch will be something of a Metroid powerhouse machine. And to first get on the same page with the reason that Metroid is back in the news today, let's quickly hop over to VGC and read through their detailed typed up article together. Mercury Steam CEO talks Metroid Dread success and allegations of chaotic production. Metroid Dread is the best-selling game in franchise history. Speaking to Game Reactor via Nintendo Everything, Alvarez spoke of working with the publisher on the Metroid franchise. We have an excellent understanding of each other. It's fair to say that over time we have become friends. And they are super talented people, super hardworking people. They have a work ethic that is unbeatable, and they are open to accepting new ideas and trying them. We are also very hungry for leaving our own mark on the franchise, and we never cease to suggest and propose ideas. Many of them ended up in the final product, so we are very proud of the collaboration between us and Nintendo. And yeah, as I said, one of the best development experiences we could possibly dream of. In 2021, it was alleged that the development of the game was chaotic. However, in response to this, Alvarez pointed to the game's success as a rebuttal. I don't think the development was chaotic. Chaotic development doesn't end with one of the best games in the franchise. It doesn't end with a game that has sold over 3-point-something million copies. It doesn't end with a game that won TGA awards. That's all I have to say about it. Metroid Dread is the franchise's best-selling game. Although public sales data for the entire Metroid series is hard to come by, it is, after all, 35 years old. No Metroid title has ever been reported to sell more than 3 million units. Retro Studios claimed in 2007 that Prime 1 had sold over 2 million units. The Metroid series has historically struggled to sell well compared to Nintendo's other first-party franchises, but Dread was supported by a strong marketing campaign, including prominent TV advertisements. So there's a very particular reason that I want to dive into with you all on why this is such a big deal for the Metroid franchise going forward, because as gamers, while you and I may have picked up Metroid Dread and thoroughly enjoyed it and played it to completion and want to see more 2D Metroid, if Nintendo did not make a good return on investment for the game, there would no doubt be no more support for the future of the 2D Metroid franchise. We may see them come back and try to tackle a sequel or something in the 2D or even 3D Metroid universe again eventually. We know Prime 4 is in the holster and will be coming to us at some point, but the reality is if these businesses release these games and they do not perform well, we will just, at the end of the day, as gamers, see less and less support for the franchise over the years. Look at Star Fox and F-Zero as two perfect examples right now. These are franchises that I truly believe need a return at this point in time in the gaming market, but they historically did not sell well. And when you look around now, it seems like Nintendo has forgotten about them. I also like to see the confidence of this interview from Mercury Steam because it seems like somebody who is more or less cementing themselves as a long-term Nintendo partner, and they're happy with the partnership that they have found. And I personally think that Dread is the pinnacle of of what a 2D Metroid game can be. I thoroughly enjoyed my 13 to 15 hours of gameplay and was blown away by some of the intricacies of the boss battles, the different mechanics and movements that they created, all of the various upgrades, the Emmy idea chasing you, adding some of that life and death adrenaline around every corner, the platforming and exploration of it all. It's truly a masterpiece of a Metroid game, and it seems like Mercury Steam walked away more confident in their ability to add in their own ideas and try to take 2D Metroid to the next level when it is a project that they can work on. And it seems like them saying that it is officially the best-selling Metroid game in franchise history, which we more or less already knew, as we did have data that suggested it was over 2.9 million. We are now saying it's officially over 3 point something million. Hard to get an exact number from Nintendo on certain games, but it is head and shoulders above one of the most successful Metroid games of all time period, which was none other than Metroid Prime 1. So what does this mean for Metroid fans at the end of the day? Well, I absolutely think we are going to see another project from Mercury Steam and Nintendo. In fact, there's one rumored that another Metroid game could be out in a year like 2025. We will have to wait and see if that is credible at all, but I do think that it makes a lot of sense. There may even be a Nintendo Switch 2 development kit in Mercury Steam's office right now, and that leak a while back that we talked about was accurate, and they are working on a new 2D Metroid game. Or maybe they're doing a 3D spin-off. Maybe they're going to do something like Other M back on the Wii, but put their own input into it. There's no telling. While we're seeing all the love and support around the Prime series from Nintendo, with Prime 1 remastered and then the logical progression being Prime 2 and Prime 3 released as part of Prime 4's ultimate marketing campaign, I really think that in 2023 and beyond, us Metroid fans will be in a fantastic environment, potentially with every other year releases of some sort for the franchise after we get caught up with all of the ports and remasters that could still make their way over. I also think that Zero Missions is coming to NSO, and hopefully one day that Samus Returns 3DS remaster will make its way over to the Switch or next gen Switch, and we will have the best version of every Metroid game playable in a modern resolution on a modern console. But I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions around where Metroid is at today. Do you think it is indeed a series that is on a upward trajectory and we should expect more support from Nintendo and Metroid games in the future with new 2D installments alongside of 3D installments? Also, what do you think about Prime 4 and its ultimate release? Do you think it launches on the current gen Switch we have today, the Switch 2, or is it a cross-gen title? And do you think that Prime 4 is really just the start of an entirely new Metroid Prime trilogy? How do you feel about Mercury Steam and their more confident comments around them being in a solid partnership with Nintendo? And do you want to see future Metroid projects from them in addition to the Prime series from Retro Studios? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.